Okay, what do you got?
We saw JPJ out there, Michael Myers Johnson, but we didn't see him practice much. Is he dealing with something?
He got hit in the ribs. He got punched in the ribs, and he tried to practice with it. It's fine.
Pete, we haven't seen Adam Butler out there for the last 2 days.
He's got a family issue that he's dealing with. He's
And a follow-up, Geno Smith was seen at the Seahawks game making an obscene gesture, like at a fan with a sign. Other, do you have a comment on that?
Did you see what the sign said?
Yeah, I saw it, yeah.
Next question.
Talk about today, several penalties on the
Yeah, we
offense.
got real sloppy at the end there. That was a move the ball period. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. That was not a good performance by us at all. Finished in the day. We had a really good, hard-hitting day. And then we just got real sloppy at the line of scrimmage. It was a bunch of young guys, and it was better with the cadence with them to help them out.
Pete, what can you gain out of joint practices when there's not going to be the physicality? When there's not going to be the tackle? I'm sorry, sir?
It's not going to be physical. It's going to be physical.
Okay,
It's going to be a physical practice. We're just not tackling.
Just a tackle.
So it'll be the kind of tempo. They can't practice any harder than we're practicing, but it's just good to just see other people, other schemes, see how we match up, that kind of stuff, take that information.
Thank you.
Coach, seemed like there was just a lot of grittiness out on the football field today. Did you feel like there was a heightened sense of that today?
Yeah. I thought the day really was about the energy of it, and it was good. It was a good day.
Pete, what has stood out to you about Lockie Tossi's development as an offensive lineman for someone who hasn't played football before?
Yeah, it was important to me to celebrate the fact that he's playing his first football game of his life. And so you see him go out for the coin toss, just representing the rooks, with the other veteran captains that were game captains. And the fact that he played in the game and did some positive things, that's a long, long ways to come. Most of us played football when we were 10 years old. He started a couple months ago. And so it was exciting to see him do something and have fun out there. And I saw a little celebration after a good block. And it's just, to me, it's a real treasure just to watch him just develop.
Tommy Hemingway seems like a guy that's getting a little bit more luck here. What have you seen from him recently?
He's very elusive. He's got real good quickness, natural movement that involves him in the running game and the passing game. And so we're just trying to get enough plays with him so that we can kind of figure out where he is. But he has made really good showings.
What did you know about Dylan Lowry before taking this job, and what has he shown you?
I didn't know, man. Saw him on the roster when I looked at the board the first time. He has really been kind of the epitome of great competitors. All the way through the lead-in, the sessions and all of that, he always stood out with his effort, his finish, and all of that. He's been a kind of a prized part of the special teams because of his attitude and the intensity that he brings. And he's shown in the games, showed in the mock game too. Both chances that he's had, he's made a big statement that he's fighting for a place on this team.
How much will special teams weigh into? Not just him, but a lot of those reserve.
It does weigh in. It just depends by situation, but it is crucially important. Sure.
When you have sloppy play in the practice and you have a lot of penalties, how do you go about cleaning that up?
Well, you get after them first off, like we did, and then we have to make sure that we work together. Like I said, a bunch of those were the young guys, and we were still hard counting and doing all of the intricacies of our cadence. It's just we didn't jive together. We have to mix better and make sure that we take care of those guys. We worked ourselves instead of working the defense.
Is that more film work, or is that both film and field?
It's repetitions. It's just repetitions over a long period of time getting right.
Pete, when you look at your roster, there's a lot of guys where it's or where there's a lot of competition. Are you happy with how the competition's going? You wish there was more. What's your thought process?
I'm always looking for more competition, but it is apparent that in all different phases of our team, we have guys that are battling to push to get their spots, and we're trying to give them opportunities with the higher group, to show that they can match up and all of that. And it's exactly what this program is all about, And so the more competitive we can make it, the longer it can keep the competitiveness alive. We don't need to make any big decisions right away. Take our time at it and let it continue to factor in. Guys coming into the program, the new guy comes in today, and this comes in today. That guys take note of that. They know that we're still looking. We're still trying to get this as competitive as we can possibly get. So we'll be pushing that way forever. But right now, it's really apparent.
End of practice at the goal line. There were some guys out there that may not make this team, and your starters were cheering like the Raiderettes. I mean, is that what you're talking about when you're looking for competition? You got starters on there rooting guys that may not even make the team. but that's the battle.
Let me give you the statement would be if you want to play on a great team, you need to be a great teammate. Being a great teammate is giving to the guys that you play with and feeling that responsibility. And so they're demonstrating that while they have their opportunities, you know, and it just feeds off one another, and we need to continue to call for it until they feel it and they embrace it and it's theirs. And so that's what I'm doing.
Speaking of competition and making decisions, how quickly do you feel like you need to figure out who the starting five is going to be on that line? The starting five for the offensive line, like when do you guys have to make a decision? Do you feel like there's any time that you have to make a decision?
We get before we start playing real games, and maybe we don't figure it out by the start of the season and we rotate that. It just needs to declare when it declares, but it's good for all of us. It's good for those guys to be battling and knowing, looking around and say somebody else is going to take my spot if I don't play well on every play that I get, and that's the mentality we're looking for.
Are you seeing what you wanted to see from Jackson Bowers-Johnson?
Yeah, he's definitely a physical football player, and at the guard spot, playing next to Jordan, it showed up, and it seemed to be a bit of a factor. We need consistency, we need those guys working together. Jordan's coming a long way at the center spot, but he played a really solid game right out of the chute. So you know, so we played him a lot, and he played almost to halftime.
Yeah.
And that was to just give him enough reps so that we could have stuff on film and that we could work from. Same with
At 73, you still call this your first day of school, which I love, but what are you still learning this season?
What am I still doing?
I mean, is there anything new? I'm sure you have
It's almost a moment-to-moment process of trying to figure out a better way to communicate, a better way to do something better, how to communicate with the coaches so they can reach the players, learning the coaches still, learning the players still. That's just an ongoing process. And that's why all of the competitive situations we put them in, I think it gives us more opportunity to learn who they are. And that's so that eventually we can embrace who they are and help them, you know, be the best they can possibly be. Hey, by the way, this was a great showing by our fans today. It was really fun to see about over a couple thousand people here today, and you could feel it, and players could feel it, and they were excited to be playing for them, and it was great to see.
How does that off-the-field chemistry translate to on the field?
Can you say this, the first part of the question?
How does the off-the-field chemistry translate to on the field? Like, how are you seeing that now?
Everything counts. Everything is a competition in my mind. It's trying to do something as well as you can possibly do it. Being a good teammate, being connected, communicating with your teammates, communicating with your coaches. All of those are decisions that we can make and we can act on. And to me, it's all connected. So, you know, rule number one in the program is always protect the team. And that's by conscience. You know, and that your conscience takes into account everybody that you're dealing with. So, I'm looking for all of those kinds of illustrations we can find.
Pete, is Alex Kappa dealing with anything significant? We haven't seen him prior.
He's got a rib something, you know, it's a crack or something like that. We're just making sure that he gets back. So it's pretty subtle injury, but it does take a little while, and it's hard to, you know, to even take a breath sometimes. So he's coming back and feels pretty good about it. It's not a long-term deal.
You guys good?
Good.
Okay, thank you guys.
How about what?